In the kingdom of Elorion, two prodigies emerged: Ariadne, a brilliant alchemist, and Kael, a master strategist. Their minds were unmatched, their talents revered across the land. Yet, despite their fame, they had never met, each consumed by their own pursuits in their respective towers. Ariadne's experiments pushed the boundaries of alchemy, creating potions that could heal or destroy with a single drop. Her intellect was legendary, but her heart was guarded. She believed emotions were a distraction, something that could cloud her judgment and weaken her resolve. Kael's strategies had won countless battles, his mind a labyrinth of tactics and foresight. He could predict an enemy's move before they made it, outthinking even the most cunning foes. But he was solitary, convinced that love was a weakness he could not afford. One day, the king summoned them both to the royal court. A dark force threatened the kingdom, one that neither magic nor sword could defeat. The king believed only the combined genius of Ariadne and Kael could save Elorion. Reluctantly, they agreed to work together. Their first meeting was tense, a battle of wits. Ariadne's sharp tongue clashed with Kael's cold logic. They respected each other's brilliance but were too proud to admit it. Yet, as they spent hours devising a plan, they couldn't deny the thrill of matching minds. As days turned into weeks, their initial rivalry gave way to mutual admiration. Kael was fascinated by Ariadne's creativity, how she saw solutions where others saw problems. Ariadne, in turn, marveled at Kael's precision, his ability to turn her ideas into flawless execution. Late one night, as they worked side by side, Kael caught himself watching Ariadne, her brow furrowed in concentration. He admired her determination, the way her eyes sparkled when she solved a difficult problem. For the first time in his life, he felt something more than admiration. Ariadne, too, found herself drawn to Kael. His intensity, his dedication, qualities she had once found intimidating, now intrigued her. She began to see beyond his stoic exterior, glimpsing the man who had dedicated his life to protecting others, even at the cost of his own happiness. As the threat to the kingdom grew closer, so did their bond. They learned to anticipate each other's thoughts, their minds working in perfect harmony. The tension between them shifted, no longer fueled by rivalry, but by something deeper, something neither could deny. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Kael and Ariadne found themselves alone in the war room. The silence between them was heavy with unspoken words. Finally, Kael reached out, his hand brushing against hers. It was a simple gesture, but it ignited a spark. Ariadne looked up, meeting Kael's gaze. In that moment, they both knew. The connection they had forged was more than intellectual. It was emotional, a bond that transcended logic and reason. For the first time, they allowed themselves to feel, to embrace the love they had tried to deny. Their relationship didn't weaken them, it made them stronger. Together, they faced the dark force threatening Elorion, their combined genius unstoppable. They were a perfect team, their love enhancing their abilities, driving them to new heights of brilliance. In the final battle, Kael and Ariadne stood side by side, their minds and hearts in sync. They outwitted the enemy, using every skill and strategy they had honed together. The victory was hard-fought, but in the end they emerged triumphant, saving the kingdom they had both sworn to protect. With the kingdom safe, Kael and Ariadne returned to their towers, but they were no longer solitary figures. They had found in each other what they had never thought possible: a partner who understood them completely, who challenged them and made them better. Their love story became legend, a tale of two brilliant minds who found not only success but also love in each other's company. They continued their work, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, but now they did it together, side by side, hearts entwined. And so, in the kingdom of Elorion, Ariadne and Kael's names were forever linked, not just as geniuses who saved their people, but as soulmates whose love was as powerful as their minds. They had discovered that true genius was not just in the mind but in the heart.